Nearly $400 for 14 sockets in a metal tray. No ratchet, no extensions, no case. That's what Mac Tools is asking you to pay on their own website right now for a set of 3/8-inch drive sockets. A mechanic standing at the tool truck window turning that tray over in his hands, counting 14 pieces. He hasn't even bought a ratchet to drive them yet. You already knew the truck was expensive, but this video is going to hand you the exact number per socket, so by the end you'll know what to buy instead and how much you save. Here's the thing about those sockets that mechanic is holding. The steel is real, forged heat-treated alloy, manufactured in the United States. Mac's own listing says it is proudly made in the USA, and they're not lying about that. Pick one up out of the tray, feel the weight of it, read the stamp on the side, look at the chrome, look at the machining on the hex. This is not pot metal junk from a clearance bin at a swap meet. You put a Mac socket on a C's bolt at the end of a long day, it fits, it grips, and it doesn't round off on you. That's a real tool. Talk to any mechanic who's used Mac sockets for 10 or 20 years, and they'll tell you the same thing. The fit is there. The chrome holds up. Nobody in this video is arguing otherwise, and that's what makes the price so much worse. If the socket were garbage, you'd just walk away. You wouldn't be watching this. But it's not garbage, and you already know that. The steel is genuinely good, and that's what sharpens the whole wound. Because even granting Mac everything they say about their metal, every bit of it, the quality still doesn't explain what they're charging for it. And what they're charging is what the rest of this video lays out, receipt by receipt. Go to Mac's website right now and click on 1-inch drive. The category is still sitting there in the menu. There's a drop down, there's a page, there's a place where the tools are supposed to be. But when you get there, you'll find one item, one socket adapter, and it's out of stock. That's it. The entire 1-inch drive section on Mac Tools' own website is a sign left up after the shelves were cleared. The kind of thing you'd see in a store going out of business. Menu still up, nothing left to sell. Click over to 3/4-inch drive ratchets. 9 products listed on the page, every single one out of stock. 9 slots on the page and not a single one available. A whole section of professional ratchets any mechanic should be able to order off Mac's own website, and not one of them ships. And it gets worse. Mac had a socket set line called RBRT, 10 complete sets. Go looking for them today on Mac's own site, and you'll find 4 discontinued and the other 6 showing out of stock. The entire line is gone. 10 sets that used to fill a page in the catalog, and not one of them is available to order. The flagship set, that one Mac set that came with a ratchet in the box, the 44-piece deluxe 3/8-inch set, listed at close to $900 on Mac's own website, out of stock. The 1/4-inch version, over $800, isn't even out of stock. It's discontinued. They pulled it from the lineup for good, so the catalog is hollowing out. Whole drive categories are empty shells on the website. Flagship sets are gone, entire product lines pulled. And while that was happening, prices were moving the other way. Stanley Black Decker, Mac's parent company, raised tool prices by high single digits in the spring of 2025. Their own operating chief called holding those higher prices a high priority, as reported by Manufacturing Dive. The shelves got emptier and the price tags got bigger at the same time. And that didn't happen by accident. A tool creator documented Stanley pushing its large drive business over to Proto, another brand in Stanley's portfolio. His read is straightforward. Stop running 2 lines of heavy-duty tooling, consolidate the big stuff under Proto, and let those Mac categories sit empty. What you can see for yourself on Mac's own website is the result. The categories are still in the drop-down menu. The products behind them are gone. That's what it looks like when a catalog empties out behind the same prices. A website that used to have tools on it and doesn't anymore, with a price sheet that went up anyway. And the mechanic standing at the truck window is the one paying for all of it. Now let's do the math. This is the part that changes how you look at every tray on the truck. To cover the basics that any working mechanic needs in 3/8-inch drive, SAE and metric, shallow and deep, you buy 4 tray sets off Mac's website. That's all they sell. 4 separate trays. Add up the prices listed on Mac's own site, and the total comes to more than $1,350 for 60 sockets. No ratchet in the box, no extensions, no universal joint, no case. 60 sockets sitting in 4 open metal trays, and over $1,300 gone. Work the price per socket. $1,355 divided by 60 sockets. That comes to about $23 for one socket. $23 for a single piece of alloy steel that fits on the end of a ratchet. A company called Tekton sells a 73-piece set that covers the same ground: shallow and deep, SAE and metric, 6-point sockets, a 90-tooth ratchet, extensions, a universal joint, and a hard case to carry it all. $195. Work that out per piece and you're at under $3. Mac is charging about $23 per socket. Tekton charges under $3. That's about 8.5 times the price per socket for the same bolt coverage. Stretch it over a career. Say you're 25 and you'll be turning wrenches for the next 20 years. The Mac stack of 4 trays runs about $68 a year. The Tekton set runs under $10. Over a 20-year career, that gap adds up to more than $1,100. And for the extra money, you get fewer sockets and no ratchet. Think about that. A mechanic just starting out puts $1,100 extra into the truck over the course of a career, and at the end of 20 years, he's got a stack of open trays with fewer sockets than someone who bought the Tekton set on day one. That's the truck tax. More than $1,100 over a career. Not for better steel, not for a better fit. For the name stamped on the side. Lay those 2 sets on a workbench side by side. The 4 Mac trays and the Tekton box with the receipts in front of them. The math doesn't survive the comparison. The truck doesn't sell it as a comparison. It sells it 1 tray at a time, on a payment plan, while you're standing at the window between jobs. Mac Tools and their parent company, Stanley Black Decker, haven't responded to these specific claims in public. So what do you buy instead? Tekton, a family-owned company out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, making hand tools since 1963. Not a brand that showed up on Amazon last year. Over 60 years of turning out tools without a dealer truck route and without a payment book. The set is their 73-piece socket and ratchet kit. Shallow sockets, deep sockets, SAE and metric. All 6-point. A 90-tooth ratchet that works in tight spaces where you can't swing more than a few degrees. 3 extensions, a universal joint, and a blow-molded case to keep the whole thing organized in your box. $195, under $3 a piece for everything in the kit. And the warranty is the part that should embarrass the truck. Lifetime, no receipt. You break a socket, you take a photo, send it to Tekton, and they mail a replacement. It shows up the next business day most of the time. That's the whole process. A photo and a new tool in the mail. A warranty built for someone who works with their hands who can't wait a week for a tool they need tomorrow morning. Compare that to how the truck warranty works. You snap a Mac socket on a Tuesday, you wait for the truck to come through on its route. Could be the next day, could be next week. Hand the broken piece to the driver, and if he's got a replacement on board, you walk away with it. If he doesn't have one, you wait for the next pass. Tekton skips all of that. Photo, replacement, done. There's a second set worth knowing about. Harbor Freight put out a line called Icon, and it's changed what a budget socket set can do. The Icon 54-piece set runs $160, comes with a lifetime warranty and a ratchet, and it carries a 4.8 star rating across over 600 reviews on Harbor Freight's own site. 4 years ago, nobody in a professional shop would have put Harbor Freight in their toolbox. This set is why that changed. Between Tekton and Icon, a working mechanic can put a complete socket setup in the box, ratchet and case included, for under $200. That's less than what one Mac tray of 14 sockets costs. When 2 sets under $200 are doing the job and carrying a lifetime warranty, the argument for spending $1,300 on the truck stops holding up. Now naming it straight, because you deserve the full picture before you buy. The Tekton sockets are made in Taiwan, not America. That's a fact. And that lifetime warranty is a mail-in process, not a guy standing at your bay swapping the broken socket while you wait. You break something at 7 in the morning and need it back by lunch. The truck wins that one. Mac's tray steel is forged in the United States, and the Mac truck does pull up to your shop door on a regular route. Those are real things you're paying for. Nobody in this video pretended otherwise. And if you're someone who won't run anything but American steel in your box, that's your call and you've earned it. But this video was never about where the tool is made. It was about what the truck charges you for it. And the question the whole video has been answering is whether those things justify what the truck asks when you can turn the same bolts for under $3 a socket. For a working set of sockets, the kind you reach for 10 times a day, the math says no. If you're buying a working set of sockets, buy the Tekton. Ratchet case, 73 pieces in the box. You keep the 1100 the truck wanted for the badge. You already knew the truck was gouging you. Every time you stood at that window and signed the payment slip, something in the back of your head said the number didn't add up. You just didn't have the math to prove it. Now you do. 8.5 times the per socket cost worked out from your own dealer's listed prices. The receipts were there the whole time. You just needed someone to stack them up. So before you sign anything else on the truck, do one thing. Take whatever set the driver's selling and price it per socket. Write that number down. Then price the same coverage anywhere else per socket and put the two numbers next to each other. If the truck can't survive that comparison, you've got your answer. You don't need anyone to tell you what it is. If you're the kind of person who runs the numbers per socket before he opens the payment book, this channel was built for you. And if you think a set of sockets is where the truck gets you, wait until you see what Snap-on does with the financing. A payment book you'll be signing for years, and a total they never quite put in print. That's a longer story, and I don't think the company that runs those books wants it told.